Hello there YouTube, this is Cronus Feet signing in for yet another Pokemon X and Y battle. The opponent this time is yet another one of my admin's friends from his school/workplace. Now in this video we don't actually just go against this friend of his once, but twice. So to see both battles you're going to have to stick for the whole video, and to find out the outcomes, watch all the way through. So enough chatter, let's hop right into this now. Look at that! Here we go. Matt is issuing a challenge. So, the team he set up here, he told me he had specially designed to go against my team. So I lit off, as I do, with my Rhoda here, and he goes straight in for Titranum, which I'm sort of confused with. I just set off the Volt Switch, knowing it's not very effective. I could have gone for the Hydro Pump, but I just want the Scout. So I switch it into Archwing, my Spiker. Surprisingly from him is this Stealth Rock. I wasn't expecting that from a Titranum Pokemon, so I retaliate to his send out damage with my own, and he goes straight in with an Ice Fang. Doesn't do that much damage, so I try out for Dark Pulse. Again, not much damage. He goes in for a Stone Edge here, which next almost obliterates me. So I go yet again for a Dark Pulse, not minding the death of my own Spiker here. I've got the spikes out, that's all that matters. So with a Dragon Claw, Archwing goes pretty swiftly down, and I end up swapping into Drillex here to try to get rid of the pointed stones. So in for a Rapid Spin, doesn't do next to any damage. I actually expected it to do more than that, even with a critical. He gives me the Cold Shoulder, biting with an Ice Fang, but is hurt with a Rocky Helmet. Next, knowing the Ground Rock, I go for an Earthquake, which obliterates his Titranum. So, who's the king now, Big Dino? Who's the king now? So he now swaps into his Infernape, who actually is quite the menace to my team. Using here a Fake Out to just stop me moving, also get rid of some damage, so flinch, as you do with that. However, he takes the Rocky Helmet damage, but is much faster and managed to pull off a close combat, knocking out Drillex with a super effective hit. So my Drillex goes down, and I decide that it's time to swap into my starter here. Senshi, Greninja, straight to the fill, one of my main men, my protein guy. Gilling you Surf, super effective, one hit KO. Straight out. So, for this battle, I've actually got to say that Greninja's quite a boss as he swaps into his Empoleon here. The spikes, and I go for the Grass Knot, creating me as a Grass type, so it does about medium damage, takes me down to yellow at least. This was a move that confused me, because I'm going to say this now, Feather Dance works on attack, as you'll see here. Greninja goes around on special, so I just shrug it off and go for another Grass Knot, knocking him straight out of there. Next goes into Sonos, his Noivern, which actually is a big mistake for him since she has Ice Beam, so that's full-time super effective against the Dragon Flyer, and Sonos, however you pronounce it, is straight out of there as soon as it came in. So now he goes into Reaver, his Aegislash here, another good Uber Pokemon for fighting competitively. I go for the Dark Pulse, expecting quite a bit of damage. I do, luckily. Straight in for the stance change, and knowing I was going to go for that Dark move, he actually selected to go for Sacred Sword here, so fighting against Dark, super effective, and Senshi with its low defense goes straight out. So now I swap into my Ninetales, as obviously it's Ghost Steel, my opponent here. Ninetales being fire, super effective, plus Drought to make it even stronger. Space speed of around about 300. Well, no, not base speed, but its speed's just over 300. So fearing the threat, he goes for a King's Shield and protects himself, which is something I really hate about Aegislash, even though it looks awesome. So now he goes again to stance change, which surprised me. It's for the use of Shadow Sneak, a priority move, so he gets some damage off there pretty decently. However, my Ninetales ceases to fail and strikes that thing, singes it to a crisp with a Fire Blast. So next, his last resort here, his Scizor, which obviously I find quite amusing for the fact of Bug Steel, 4x super effective fire. So he goes for the Mega Evolve into the Chest Pincher, or Incisor, as I like to call him, and goes for the Vacuum Wave, hoping to knock Ninetales out, most possibly. However, being the strong, independent female she is, Okami managed to survive and hit a Fire Blast and knock Scizor right out. So that's one battle down, but within a few minutes he had come back with vengeance. So let's hop into that battle right now. Revenge. So he also knows my team by now, so I try and do something a little different here, going straight in for my Drill-X to get some spikes or something out there. He goes into his Skarmory, his Spiker, which is pretty funny that we have the same Spiker here. But he lays out one layer of spikes, and, well, that's no good. So I just hit him with a Rapid Spin to get rid of them. Again, not much damage at all. But it was a bit in vain, my attack here, as he goes straight for another Spikes, which was actually over the call, because we actually talked about this. We were actually laughing quite a bit. So I go for a Slash, because I just don't care about Spikes anymore. And he strikes with a Flash Cannon, not very effective since steel on steel. So I'm here just trying to slash away at his life points slowly, trying to get it faint, trying to get rid of it. He actually goes for another layer of Spikes. Something I didn't know before this battle is that you could have up to 3 layers of Spikes, which do more damage as you go. So here, remembering it's Flying type, I go for the Rock Slide as he sets up his 3rd level of Spikes. So that's pretty much it there. I'm in a bit of trouble if he does anything. He swaps out into his Charizard to save his Skarmory, just in case of another spin. I go for Rock Slide, which would have worked really well for me. However, it misses and allows him to Mega Evolve to Charizard X. The Dragon Fire, I believe now. Quite bossy, quite strengthened. Unfortunately, the attack misses, which allows him to go first and knock Drill-X straight back to 0. And, well, bam, down he goes. Knowing it's new Dragon type, here I swap straight into my Gardevoir. And, he obviously knock out this thing as fast as possible with a non-dragon as I Mega Evolve into Guard of Lights. So, quite the special attack power there. I actually go for the Dazzling Gleam. I don't know why he didn't swap out, but he does try and contest my Gardevoir, so I do have to respect him there for his courage. Now he swaps into his Gardevoir, which is a shiny, which he has, since the battle, traded to me. However, I'm going to say this now, I'm going to keep into my Gardevoir, as looking at the nature, the shiny is Bashful, and I can't remember what mine specifically is, but mine allows the increase of special attacks. So I just saw that I went for a Thunderbolt to try and take it out, and they went for a Calm Mind to try and get their stats up. So I hit this, wait a minute. That Gardevoir's a guy! Oh gosh. So now he thinks about swapping into his Troll here. So I actually took about a few minutes to think here. Since the Ninja has its ability, so it can only be hit by certain moves. So I swap out and swap into Archwing so I can get the Air Slash off on it. And if you just saw its health there, gone like a rocket. So also this battle's going quite well, and he swaps into his Gyarados. Flying water types, so there's not much my Skarmory itself can do, so I set up my layer of spikes against him as he hits me with a Thunderbolt. However, Archwing is quite bulky against this kind of stuff, so I managed to get him again, this time with a Dark Pulse, as he once again hits me with another Thunderbolt. But as I say, quite bulky, stays on to set up my second layer of spikes against his team. Just say now, sorry if you hear the squealing throughout this video, that's my chair. So, with the third Thunderbolt, unfortunately, Archwing can't stand it anymore. He's had enough having his bones right, and he faints out. So, swap into Rhoda here to use an electric move. That's the special attack plus the choice specs, 4 times super effective. So, there was no contesting Gyarados' fate there. At this point, it becomes a battle of the Rotoms, which was quite hilarious, as we fought it out to see whose was stronger. However, as I say, the choice specs equipped to increase special attack seemed to do quite a good trick as he tries to get the status of burnt off on me, and I just hit him with 2 discharges, and like that, your socks are gone, your shirt's destroyed, and the machine's had a malfunction. So Burn does its damage, and he sends out his final here. Returning to the field is Kamikaze. She does pretty well as a pilot himself, as he pilots himself right to the ground. And that finishes that. So, that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, those 3 things, I'm not going to preach, because I just feel stupid doing that. And I'll see you guys in the next video. So this is Cronus Feats, signing out.